What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Shiny Shuriken video. We are here with my friend Bishmii, and we are chatting about that, week 3 analysis for the SRL Draft League. Bishmii, you want to say hi?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Bishmii. Week 2 was on my channel. If you guys haven't watched it, go check that out. But yeah, here we back again to talk about these rankings and videos.
You guys know we're bouncing back and forth. Week 1 was over here on my channel, Shiny Shurikens. Week 2 over on Bishmii's. We are back for week 3 of the SRL analysis of Bishmii's and Mai's battle. We focus on ourselves, but we're talking about the whole league in general. I mean, make sure you guys check out that week 2 analysis over on Bishmii's channel. I'm going to call out real quick that you guys, I am super duper red. I was hanging out in the sun, so have yourself a good laugh. I look like a steamed crab, but it's good times. It's good times. We're going to jump into the week 2 power rankings and kind of what happened. If you saw the last week's power rankings, obviously I was looking pretty decent at number 7, I think it was, if I remember right. And I obviously took a big loss, a 3-0 loss, and we dropped to number 12. I'm not offended. I completely get it. It's a decent move. I think I played well, but not well enough. I got outplayed by my opponent. They played very well. My team got outmatched. There was no mythical or legendary drama. There was no drama, period. It was straight up, I got outplayed. So I respect that I had a nice drop with a 3-0 loss to number 12. But we're going to look to rebound for sure. And I'm going to let Bishmii tell you about how the New York Knicks did.
Yeah, so you guys haven't seen, the New York Knicks picked up another win, putting me at 2-0. I was feeling pretty good with Wheezing being the player of the week again, neutralizing everyone and getting that clutch poison that, really won me the game, setting up those toxic spikes. But yeah, I broke into the top 3, putting me at number 3, and it felt good.
Yeah. So I'll just mention on Bishmii's movement, the New York Knicks, honestly, I think that the individual doing the power rankings, team, whatever it is, they absolutely got it right. The player of the week on the New York Knicks, I think for week 1 and week 2, Wheezing has come through. Wheezing has shown how absolutely dangerous it can be with that neutralizing gas, getting Bishmii into the top 3, and I think it's well-deserved. Bishmii's played really well. I just want to call out one minor thing, and I mean no offense by it, Bishmii. I think with a few misplays in your matchups, you've actually still pulled out solid wins, and a lot of them because of Wheezing. And I think that just speaks to the volumes of your team, that even through misplays, you're pulling out these big wins. So that top 3 is well deserved.
Hey man, and I want to say, like you said, even with a little bit of misplays here and there, like being able to have them on you could rely on, or just setting up for the entire team and really pulling through, like this is something that you can't sleep on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you just get into your rankings. So did lose for the second time in a row, and so of course you would drop.
Yeah.
It's to be expected. That game was a hard game. You were playing against the previous winner of the SRL, because we are in season 2. He was the winner of season 1, so it was a tough matchup. You didn't have the team advantage, but we definitely played it pretty solid. And even though you are in 12th, it's not I want to say it's kind of to be expected, but I'm just waiting for you to come back, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. We're not gonna chat on the rankings too long. I'm not gonna pity party myself, but honestly, the play in week 2 is more so on myself than anything. I missed a lot of opportunities. I had some misplays, and I just gotta get better. So
that's all it is.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so right now what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the analysis of Bishmii's week 3 performance. So we're going to toss it over there, and we'll catch you guys here in just a second. All right, guys, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into Bishmee's play. I'm going to kick it over to him, and he's going to give you a little breakdown. We're going to kind of chat back and forth. Here we go.
So yeah, going up against Sen, coach of the Cerulean City Mewtwo, we're both undefeated, being at 2-0. And he has Celebi and Kyurem on his team. Now, leading Weezing, like I did in the past 2 previous weeks, I wanted to set up my toxic spikes. And I did calc that, Weezing couldn't live a psychic from Celebi, so I wanted to protect to see if he had it, or if he was, willing to use it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, one thing I'd add here on the leadoff, I'm wondering if Weezing was a little too obvious.
Right. Because I did lead it, and then I just brought it back again. Yeah. Those toxic spikes, if you don't have a way to get it off, it's, crazy. So I switched into Scrafty here, fearing the sidekick. Turns out he was actually choice specs locked into U-turn, which I didn't know at the time of the battle, because I thought he would run Kyurem with the choice specs.
I don't really see a lot of Kyurem specs. If you're seeing anything outside of Kyurem Black and Kyurem White, usually what I see is more of the Life Orb. I see a lot of substitute plays with Kyurem.
Yeah, Sub Roost.
Yeah, Sub Roost. So I see some leftover sets, but I rarely see a spec set. And if it's really base Kyurem, honestly, what I see is a lot of Life Orb and options that or items that give them options for their movesets.
Right, so that they could switch up.
Yep.
I want to say, as you can see, my Scrafty is assault vested, so I had him as my specially defensive wall, and like we did say in the week 2 matchup, Sir Fetch going for a choice banded Brave Bird kind of slaughters my team, and I was so scared of that. I was ready to let Como die. Just a little note, we do see Coach Sen taking a really long time to communicate because he's just running calcs, and he was streaming live at the time of this battle.
Okay.
And it kind of sucks because it does take away from the in-game battle timer being at 20 minutes. I like to pick my moves fairly quickly so that I could get out of that.
Yeah, that is tough in this new generation with the 20-minute timer. I mean, timers play a huge part in battles, and it is always unfortunate when you have to have a battle go to timer. But you gotta appreciate that your opponent's trying to think through moves, and that's what I always try to respect that. It's I'm also upset at the same time. It's please go quicker, but also I get what you're doing.
Turns out his Surfetch was choice banded, so he knocked me off, couldn't stay in. My Como was defensive, so I went for the body press hoping to get some damage. He brought in his Hatterene, and as you guys seen in my week 1 battle, that I had the Unburdened Thievul ready for it, but he had Nuzzle, and actually looking at his movesets, he didn't even have a fairy move on his Hatterene.
Yo, the Nuzzle.
What do you think about that?
I got to give a shout out to the Nuzzle. What a crazy play. It doesn't put a lot of damage out, but it gets that guaranteed paralysis. And I think maybe he was looking at your team as that he had to absolutely speed control. He predicted your movements very, very well, I think, into Thievul. So hats off to Sen for predicting that movement.
Yeah, and I want to say, this paralyze is huge because I believe I just go for a Shadow Ball and, I'm not able to hit.
Yeah, was the, I'm interested, though. Was the type null did it have an extra additional typing? Did he have anything set on it?
I think it was just normal, though. So
I think it was. Yeah, so the Shadow Ball wouldn't have done anything.
Then him just, U-turning, he's gathering a lot of momentum for himself.
Yeah, he
just, getting the paralyze. Then he has his Celebi with U-turn and his type null with U-turn, while I, on the other hand, have to make hard switches here.
I don't want to move backwards, but I want to just call out the play on the Hatterene. or Hatterene. You know, the body best from Como-O. Granted, Hatterene's a great Pokemon, but I'm very surprised to see the body press do so little from the Como-O into the Hatterene. I really thought you would pick up more damage there.
Yeah, and like I think he was max HP, and then like you said, the body press not doing that much damage. It was just a really bulky Hatterene, and then here he goes for an amazing play on the Dazzling Gleam on my switch to Scrafty. Wow, because I honestly I didn't even know that thing had Dazzling Gleam.
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. I think in past gens it got Moonblast, and Dazzling Gleam is actually the reduction.
Right, like so I want to say like that was definitely a misplay. I was like, man, this thing can't really touch me, I guess.
So what was Scrafty for in this matchup? Because I was very interested to see that you brought Scrafty. I didn't think it really played super well outside of Kyurem.
Well, against his Hatterene, I knew I could live a hit and then go for maybe an Iron Head. Definitely for the Kyurem too, for me to just wall it. It also, his team has a huge like fighting weakness, so just getting off Drain Punches would have been great, and that's why I brought it. I also had just a little bit of coverage moves with the Crunch, I believe.
Okay. So I'm just going to follow up with a whole nother question. So we see that Centiskorch goes for Burn Up, and you used Burn Up last week as well. Are you ever concerned about losing your fire typing on the Centiskorch, and therefore you lose the stab damage from the Gmax Centiferno, or is it Centiferno or whatever it is? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So like at first, I wasn't really concerned about it until I believe it was my match against. I believe it was this match where they said, "Yeah, you don't have the stab." I was watching Sen's side of the battle. It was like, "Yeah, the Type Null ate that because I didn't have the stab damage," and I was like, you know what? Maybe the burn up is a little bit iffy. The only reason why I do like losing the fire type, so that I could stay in against water types, and that I could stay in against rock types, being more confident on my living ability.
Sure. I mean, I
could see it being
yeah, I like Burn Up. I think it's a great move, and it can be well used, and I think you utilized it very, very well in week 2. But here, I think it kind of cost you. Now, do I think it would have KO'd the Type Null? No. But I think it would have brought it within range where you actually possibly could have picked up a KO off of the Fire Spin damage. You still would have gotten
for
paralyzed.
The 2 turns. Right, yeah. But like here, like it would have put it down.
Yeah, it would have been gone at this point here.
You know, my last turn of my Gigantamax, I just go for the overgrowth to try to heal up a little bit. You know, like you said, him getting off those paralyzes on my Thievul and my Centiskorch was really big. Although Centiskorch is already a slow Pokemon, like getting a turn of your Gmax wasted is huge.
It is, yeah. Anytime an opponent has a chance to burn out turns of an opposing opponent's Dynamax or Gigantamax outside of the league, of course, it's so pivotal to a battle, because all of a sudden now you have this kind of momentum basically in your pocket that, like, if you haven't Dynamax or Gigantamax, you can now later, without threat, go ahead and Gigantamax.
Right, and not have to worry about another Mon coming in, threatening you.
Well, and the other piece too, I mean, a Gigantamax versus a Gigantamax, I mean, that Gigantamax is going to take that damage from your Gigantamax so much better, and now Sen doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, and then so now I'm like thinking he has the Hatterene in the back. That thing could still max on me. So here I'm just trying to play around his Sirfetch'd. Turns out, because I thought he brought it in because he has the Brave Bird. Like, why would you bring a fighting type on a bug type? But
so here
looks like he just wasn't right.
Yeah, here, let me offer one thing. Here's where I see that maybe you had some misplaying. I think you misplayed your Como-O. I think you kind of gave it up too easily to the Sirfetch'd. Not expecting knockoffs, not expecting first impressions, things like that, big damage items. And I think that, honestly, if you had set up Stealth Rocks, you were starting to get chip damage, and you played a little more like you had played Wheezing in week 2, I think that was a better use of Como-O. But multiple times I saw you bring it in basically to give it up.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to do, because when I team built, I hadn't like really thought Como to be much of anything. I just wanted it as a defensive wall because my team is missing that. So I just wanted it. I wanted to bring it in on things like the Surfetched or the Bisharp, and like if it went down, I wouldn't have minded because I didn't really build my team around it, and like I could tell it hindered my play because it showed up when I didn't expect it to, and I didn't know how to use it. You know what I mean?
Sure. I've got some experience using Como-O, and I think it can be it's a really tough Pokemon to make a really strong pseudo. It's really odd being a pseudo legendary, but it has potential if you can play it correctly. That defensive stat is actually, I think, I'm gonna say this is my opinion, of course, it's shining glory. In it being that it's its best stat in the defensive stat. It has good special attack, it has good attack, it has a lot of versatility to be a mixed attacker, but its defensive stat is what you want to use it
where
for.
It lies.
Yeah.
Then just going along with the and then another one way I want to say I misplayed my Como-O is like not just subbing up in front of the Hatterene. You know, I was faster. So I could have even stalled his G-Max out like that, and I'm pretty sure the grassy terrain was set up, so I would have been able to just sit in and stall out his G-Max. But I was trying to force my Thievul getting the Unburden boost. Yeah, and that's why I switched it in.
Yeah, I felt that one. I felt that switch on the Thievul, trying to anticipate that whatever it be, D-Gleam or the Max Starfall from Hatterene, and I get it, but yeah, I totally agree that stalling out the G-Max with Como-O was a good play.
And yeah, how did you feel about me magic bouncing it out the game?
That's tough. That's always a tough one to take, but you know, what do you we all make those mistakes.
So yeah, I go for the parting shot, and it's like, well, no, you're switching out the Gigantamax, not you.
I think you definitely had. You know, one thing I'll add here is you see the paralysis on Thievul against Kyurem, and that's just so unfortunate. Swiper has to take unnecessary damage. But, you know, one thing to call out is that you are going up against Kyurem and Celebi. You're going up against both a legendary and a mythical. We got those boosted base stats, and it's always tough. And then to add paralyses into the mix-up, that's tough.
Because honestly, I would have what my plan was to protect and then like see the Ice Beam, and then I was thinking of parting shotting out the next turn. And then like it would have dropped Kyurem's stats, and then I would have been able to bring in something. But yeah, you know, like you said, that paralysis from Hatterene just like really stunning my team, literally.
Yeah, I mean, you've got what, 3 Pokemon paralyzed, 2 or 3 Pokemon paralyzed, and you've had some really disadvantageous moments in this battle with a couple of paralyses from both Tico, from I can't remember what your Swiper. I'm trying to remember your actual nicknames, and that's always tough, of course.
And then I want to say right here is when I want to say I noticed I lost, and that is because I prepped for my Verzion to have Light Screen and X Scissor, but the one I brought into the battle had Stone Edge and Reflect from my week 2, so I didn't change the moves. Here the plan was to set up my Light Screen so that I'm pretty sure I could live any of his special attacking. And then, like, as you can see here, I don't have anything to hit the Hatterene with my Verzion. And, like, I want to say that's just something that was on my part, you know? Like, nobody could have changed that but me.
So why'd you go close combat instead of light screen?
Oh, I had Reflect.
Oh, never mind. I get you. Yeah. That's a dumb question.
Instead of light screen. So of course I would. The plan was to set it up there. If he went into Hatterene, I would have exited it. I'm not sure if it would have killed, but I would have definitely lived. You know, and the battle. Not saying that I would have won, but it would have been a lot closer than the 5-0, because here, when I see that I don't have the moves that I wanted, I just kind of the game.
Yeah, and then another paralysis on Swiper. I mean, your Thievel had the roughest time this week.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I only hit one parting shot on Hatterene, and that's it.
Yeah, that's tough. I think there's definitely other plays you can make and different movements you can make in the battle, but honestly, I think the team that Sen brought was just better prepped for your matchup.
Yeah, I want to say he definitely brought stuff that countered what I had. Definitely, my team, like I said, is really weak to fairies, so him running that Dazzling Gleam set for Celebi, and then it threw me off because I thought, his Hatterene would have came in and been thrown off fairy moves, and that just wasn't the case. And like I said, that was just great prep on him. He played the battle great.
So one quick question for you is that on the movement between Kyurem over to, I think it was Hatterene when he went close combat from Virizion, why didn't you choose Stone Edge to get the super effective damage if he happened to leave the Kyurem in, expecting the outspeed from Kyurem?
Pretty sure close combat is still super effective, but now that you say it, Stone Edge would have still been a great play because I would have been able to hit anything that came in. So
yeah, I think it was better coverage.
Definitely the coverage play. It would have been better.
Yeah.
Even though I noticed that I didn't have what I wanted, should have definitely made that play. Now that you say it, thank you for bringing it up, because I had thought I was out the battle, and now that you say that.
All right, so we're gonna jump over to my match. I'm gonna load that up, and we'll catch you guys back here in just 1 second. Okay, guys, so here we are with my video. We've got Coach EJ this week. Let me just mention real fast that Coach Cat of the Glittering Cave Gardevoirs had to drop out of the league due to some personal reasons. Absolutely understandable. Life happens. Things are crazy right now. So we've got this fantastic stand-in. We've got Coach EJ of the St. Louis Swablues. And I mentioned a little bit about that in my video too, so check that out. But we're going to jump into this video and do a little breakdown of my battle. So, you guys know I'm not great with leadoffs. I had not a lot of prep time on this battle because my week got away from me. I just opted to go with the strongest attacking Pokemon on my teams. And I felt like Galvantula was just a decent leadoff. I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and get these webs off. Saw the Raichu lead, and if you watch the video, you can hear me predicting like crazy on these brick breaks throughout the entire video. And brick break, here you go, spoiler alert, it never happened.
Yeah, and I do like that the webs play, because with that Dracovish just putting it at the minus speed, it makes it so much less of a threat. And then even though like you said, I would have figured he had brick break if he had fake out attacking Raichu. Would have been cool.
Yeah. Obviously it's a pretty easy prediction with Raichu on the fake out lead. I predicted the lead off very well with the fake out Raichu. So we take that damage, and basically at that point I'm like, whatever, let's just let Galvantula go down. Side note, I did forget that I had an Akaberry on the Galvantula and didn't switch out Focus Sash. But on the switch in for Weezing, we got the sticky webs off, and I think that's fantastic. Here's where I'm like, I don't see a lot of versatility in Galvantula for the rest of the battle. So I'm like, if it goes down to something, that's fine. But I saw some opportunity with just firing off a Volt Switch, because the neutralizing gas kind of forced me over to Volt Switch instead of Thunder.
Yeah. Well, and I could imagine that Thunder, if he was Levitate, I think, not neutralizing gas ability,
No, I think he was. I think he was neutralizing Yats.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying if he had a separate ability, I'm not sure if that Weezing gets it.
I think it does get a levitate ability, but like with the neutralizing gas in, I don't have my compound eyes. I don't have the 91% accurate thunder. I opt for the Volt switch, which actually gives me some opportunity later in the battle with Galvantula, who a lot of people sleep on. It actually is a very great special attacker, solid special attack stat. And actually, what we ended up seeing was that I got very good intel on this Weezing. It's not very well specially built.
Oh, that Volt switch did 50.
Yeah. That's huge. I can only imagine what a Thunder would have done to it.
Right. And that's what I was saying, like that neutralizing gas, like forcing you to get out, because if you had hit a Thunder, man, I could imagine that just being a 2-hit KO. Well, maybe even OHKOing.
Yeah. I mean, and he fired off a Will-O-Wisp, which was really interesting. I don't know what he was predicting there. Maybe a Mimikyu or something like that. But the Will-O-Wisp doesn't bother either Galvantula or Inteleon. And I get a fantastic switch with Berserker. The Crit King from PWD. I can't say this enough. I absolutely love Inteleon. Please go check out the PWD videos because I pick up crit after crit after crit here. And Inteleon picks up.
Say the crit mattered.
The first crit absolutely mattered. The second crit, I pick up that KO on Berserker, and it gives me a fantastic momentum because first and foremost, I have the absolute threat of Berserker gone. I don't ever have to worry about it. It can be really annoying. He's got a great attack stat. He's a steel type with some immunities, of course, to my Vileplume. I'm just happy.
Yeah, like I said, while you were premiering this video, I said in the comments, like, throwing away his Berserker there was kind of big because that thing does not have the best special defensive stat. And, like, looking at your team now, it does really well against a lot of your mons. So I'm surprised he kind of let it go down.
Oh yeah, it does amazing against Mimikyu. It does really well against Vileplume. It does well against Grimmsnarl. It handled itself so well. I mean, it's a challenge, but it handled itself so well against Cloyster because it's got a great defensive stat, but also can have a great attack stat and has super effective abilities against Cloyster. And then the Dracovish comes in on the Inteleon, and you know, my Inteleon's burned from the Will-O-Wisp, which still I don't really understand where that came from. But I'm so happy that Inteleon was able to live a hit from Dracovish. I see potential for Inteleon later in the battle, which is why I opted to switch to Vileplume, because I know it's locked into Vicious Rend, and I can absolutely take it. But I get this opportune moment where he switches into Clefairy and gives me just the best matchup.
You could just get that free Sludge Bomb off.
And especially because Berserker is gone. There is nothing that wants to take this Sludge Bomb. He brings in Weezing, which I get even more intel on, okay? So the Weezing comes in and it takes this Sludge Bomb, and I get more intel that this thing has absolutely no special defensive investment because this thing just took a resisted Sludge Bomb. And, well, not resisted, neutral because of the fairy poison typing. But still, I mean, to do that much damage to a Galarian Weezing with a Sludge Bomb, I guarantee that I have the OHKO on Weezing. So I'm going to get rid of the Weezing here. And my opponent opts to switch again. And the switch is a little questionable. Definitely questionable. Clefairy, you know I'm firing off Sludge Bomb. So, you know, why bring in Clefairy, who's going to take super effective damage? This was interesting. And I forgot that Clefairy's base speed is 35 versus my 50 with Vileplume. But, like, I'm going to outspeed because I have the sticky webs up, you know, so Vileplume's just out here putting damage.
Yeah, getting a lot of damage on all of his mons. And I want to say that's why, you know, those sticky webs really set it up for Vileplume to just get a lot of damage on his team. And then, you know, it obviously didn't help by him constantly switching. I feel like you were pretty much in the driver's seat here. And, you know, when someone's in the driver's seat, you got to try to get your own momentum of your own. So if that means sacking a mon and bringing one in, you gotta let stuff like that happen to start generating your own momentum.
Which I kind of thought was happening with Berserker, but then it continued to happen, and I played the belly drum with Snorlax really well. But one thing I want to mention really quick is how important that Sludge Bomb on Weezing is later in the battle. Had he never brought Weezing in, maybe he let Clefairy take an initial Sludge Bomb, and Clefairy goes down, or does, I don't even know what the set on Clefairy was because it never even got to attack. But Weezing later in the battle with that other, I think it was like maybe a little more than 1/3 of its health, with that much more health, that thing actually stacks up and holds up against my Gmax Grimmsnarl, which was actually the Pokemon that ended up taking it out. But let me jump into this Snorlax real quick. So I played this to a T exactly how I wanted it to. I wanted Vileplume to be able to Toxic Snorlax because I absolutely wanted Mimikyu to come in and outlast it with Gmax, or outlast the Gmax Replenish. It was able to get off a Gmax Replenish before I wanted it to. I forgot about my own sticky webs. I actually wanted Snorlax to attack my Vileplume Verse, which would have been really bad, so that I could Strength Sap it and start just living and bring it back down to nothing.
Yeah.
That didn't work.
Like, that's cool, you got the game plan, you mess up a little bit, but I want to say that did not take away from your momentum. Being able to just bring in Mimikyu here, and Mimikyu, I want to say, was a great pick. A lot of people, like I said, was a little bit iffy about him being the first round pick, but now in a Gigantamax or even Dynamax meta, being able to just come in and tank a hit from the opponent's Dynamax is like huge. As you see with the Mimikyu taking that Max Steel Spike to the face, and because of its ability, it doesn't go down. So being able to waste 2 turns is just huge.
Exactly. Honestly, the Disguise ability on Mimikyu is gotta be one of the most overpowered abilities in the entire meta. It's why I took it number 1. It has so much potential. It handles Dracovish. It gives me so much opportunity to fire off these giant attacks because it's got a great attack and decent speed stat. Like, if I attack first and my Disguise gets broken second, that means I get another attack the next turn.
That's 2 hits.
Yeah, that's 2 solid big hits. And these Drain Punches really, really mattered. I swapped Drain Punch over Swords Dance this week. And I made a mistake of going for Swords Dance, and it messed up my battle, and now I just wanted to get this damage off. I went Drain Punch on Snorlax, which was super effective, and it put me in range to either, sack him on and let it die to Toxic, or I'm going to get this KO, which I do with Galvantula, of course, with the Bug Buzz.
Yeah. And when I seen that in the KD, I was like, wait, Galvantula killed the Snorlax. What happened, bro?
I saw your comment and I had to laugh because it's like, it's not what you think, Bishmii. It's just...
I was like, hey, Galvantula, like...
I saw Galvantula as kind of my Sackmon, and I think right here, there was opportunity. I did forget about Sucker Punch on my Grimmsnarl. I changed it out right before the battle, and then I forget about it immediately coming into the battle. So Sucker Punch into the Snorlax, and then taking a Fake Out from Raichu and living all this stuff. It would have been interesting to see. I might have picked up a 4-0 instead of a 3-0, but this Bug Buzz is great damage on Raichu. I can't be upset. I do think the crit, I haven't calced it, but I do think the crit Thunderbolt from Raichu onto the Galvantula, I think that mattered.
I mean, the crits always matter. What can I say?
They do.
If you calculated it, it mattered.
They do, yeah. Because I think, like, if there was no crit, I think there's a chance my Galvantula lives on just a hair. I might have to calculate after and maybe come back on next week and make a comment at the beginning. But absolutely, it gave me opportunity here. Obviously, Grimmsnarl comes in. I'm up 3-0. I have a full health Cloyster in the bag with webs up. And basically, I'm right here. I'm kind of to decide. I'm a little bit sketchy on myself because on the prior week, I set up a screen first, and I think that bit me in the butt.
Yeah, because I'm starting to take that hit.
Yeah, I think if I Dynamaxed and took the G-Max hit, maybe it would have been different in week 2. Not too much, but so I was a little skeptical to go and set up my screens first. But screens from Grimmsnarl are so amazing, and I do get lucky here. And no matter what Raichu could do, I was max special defense. I'm not max defense, but I am max special defense. And getting the light screen up, max special defense, I took that Thunderbolt so well, and I handle Raichu super, super well. And basically, I'm like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get these screens up. Let's get prepared. If Grimmsnarl ends up going down, I'm going to pick up this 2-0 because I'm going to bring Cloyster in, and Cloyster's going to get everything taken care of with that skill link. And that was kind of what I was thinking.
The thing is, you do say it in your video too. You were like, pretty sure this thing has Brick Break, and yet you still set the screen in his face, and then he goes for the Thunderbolt, and then you're like, well, I guess he doesn't have Brick Break.
Well, actually, I set the light screen, and it's right after I think it's right after I click reflect. And I'm like, oh my god, why did I just set both screens? This dude literally put damage out waiting for me to do a stupid thing and set up both screens so he could Brick Break and put damage out. But I think I got lucky that the Raichu didn't carry Brick Break. I think a physical attacking Thunder Punch, Brick Break, Fake Out Raichu would have been the way to go with Volt Switch as the last move. But I don't think EJ carried it.
And like you said, with Weezing taking that damage from the Vileplume and then from the Volt Switch from Galvantula, it looks like this thing was just fully defensive.
It was.
And max HP, because taking a G-Max hit from the Grimmsnarl, despite the not very effective, like that's still a G-Max hit, and it was at 1/3 health.
Yeah, and thank God I pick up the KO here, because one thing I learned after the battle is that if you hit a G-Max snooze on a Pokemon and then on the next turn you hit him again, you actually reset the yawn. So had I been against a fuller health Weezing, I would have been in trouble, because that thing would have been able to attack me, and it wouldn't have been going to sleep. It would have taken 3 pretty much not very effective G-Max snoozes, and would have been doing pretty well.
Surprised that Grimmsnarl was still slower after the webs. I guess that just shows you how fast Dracovish is.
Slower than Dracovish? Well, Grimmsnarl has... I had next to nothing in speed investment. I had maybe 8 EVs to outmatch a speed tie on Galarian Weezing. That is all I put into Grimmsnarl's speed, was 8 EVs. Because I wanted to make sure that I hit the Weezing first with Darkest Lariat. But the Dracovish at base 75, where Grimmsnarl's base 60, of course, that's going to outspeed me. The Choice Scarf is negated by webs.
But yeah, like at the base, it's still faster.
Yeah. And it was kind of a comical ending to my battle, too, because I actually... You kind of see it where I come out of G-Max and I actually forget that I put Sucker Punch on. And I'm like looking to switch around. I'm like, okay, how can I do this?
Like, how do I win here?
Thankfully, I remembered Sucker Punch before I actually switched out to another Pokemon, because I was going to go out to Inteleon, sack Inteleon, and I would have only taken the 2-0 win. But we pick up the 3-0, and the Fargo Phalanx get their first win. We move to 1-2. Yeah, oh yeah. So I'm super happy to pick up that first win. I think we played really, really well. I think for as little draft analysis that I did, good. We're gonna jump into next week and try to carry that momentum. I just want to make a call out here that I've been saying all season. The thing is that you can't sleep on Pokemon like Mimikyu, like Inteleon, like Galvantula. They're not legendaries, they're not mythicals, but they are fantastic Pokemon that operate so well within normal ranked metas, both VGC and normal singles. They're just fantastic Pokemon. Alright, so here we're going to jump over to the Week 4 matchups, and we're going to give you a little team preview. Jumping into Week 4's matchup, the Fargo Phalanx are going up against the Dutch Darmanitan. I have to look up the coach that I'm going to up against. Sorry about that. But It's a very good matchup again.
Real quick, just to speak on Araquanid, like looking at its stats, it actually has a base stat of 132 special defense, which is kind of high. I mean, of course, coming off like a Galvantula Thunder, it's not gonna like that. But do you think him putting like a little bit of special defense into that and make it live a little bit more?
What's its base defense?
92.
82?
92.
92. Maybe I have it backwards. I don't know. I feel like I've dealt with more Araquanids from a
I feel like they do run more defense just because they might be that confident in their special defense. Kind of like how people run Goudreau. It has like base 150 special defense, I think.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I don't have to run a lot of investment into Goudreau's special defense because it's already so high. So, that's a very good point, and one I've overlooked. I mean, I haven't team prepped yet. I probably won't have any team prep in when we do these analysis videos. So these are kind of like my first looks, which I'm really enjoying.
The first look.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how I can deal with Araquanid. Maybe with that knowledge, Ninjask, acrobatics from Ninjask looks pretty good too.
Okay. Ready to see that thing come off the bench.
I need to get Ninjask out here. Everybody always sees it as a one-trick pony for Baton Pass, but I'm gonna showcase how good Ninjask can be this year. Trust me.
And that's hype. I love to see underclass mons really coming out and doing stuff.
Yeah. Looking at the rest of the team, Chandelure, Excadrill, Gigalith. Let's talk about those three. A couple of top-tier Pokemon. Gigalith, of course, a massive defensive stat. The Sturdy ability, the Sandstream ability, great. Both of them, great abilities. Obviously, we probably will see the Sandstream ability if they want to run the Sand Rush. Thank you. Goodness. Sand Rush abilities. But here's something interesting, Bishmii, that I'm looking at. If I see a Gigalith and I don't see Sandstream, I am 100% going to be looking for that Mold Breaker Excadrill to Iron Head counter my Mimikyu and ignore my Mimikyu's disguise.
My God, because it will eat it up.
Yeah, it's a great counter. It's the normal meta counter for it right now. Excadrill's Mold Breaker ability has helped it move up in the tiers, I think, in both singles and doubles. You don't see a lot of the Sand Rush and Sand Force abilities. So we'll see.
That Mold Breaker being able to hit things like Mimikyu, things like Odom with a Iron Head and Earthquake respectively, big threats in the meta right now. It's just like really huge for this thing to move up, like you said.
Yeah, it's got good. It's I used actually. If you guys know me from the PWD at all, I actually had Excadrill on my team, and I played with him a lot, and so I know about his potentials. And he's got a great attack stat. His speed's a little bit underwhelming at I think base 88, if I remember correctly. So he gets outsped by a lot, which is where the Sand Rush ability comes in, and he plays super well. But yeah,
then even if not that, like we did talk about it, Excadrill does get access to Rapid Spin. It's one of the more prominent spinners. So even if that base 88 speed, let's say he wants to get rid of your Sticky Webs, and he could just get that +1, things could get really scary, it being a Mold Breaker set instead of the Sand Rush.
Absolutely. And not to put myself in too much of a hole, but Excadrill does perfectly wall my Galvantula. I'll have to look at the move pool on Galvantula to see maybe if I can add something tricky. But yeah, I mean,
it does get access to Energy Ball, which I don't think is too much to Excadrill. It might be something better, but I know off the top of my head, though, Galvantula does get access to that because I had Galvantula in the PWD, and I decided to put that on it for one game.
Nice.
Stacy, actually.
That's not bad, Arts. Nice. Yeah, no, that's not bad. That's good to know. Chandelure is another great Pokemon that I totally expect to see in Week 4 here. Chandelure is a great Ghost type Pokemon, Ghost Fire type, offers some versatility to a team that honestly it enjoys the fighting and normal resistance with things like Malamar, Gigalith, Excadrill, Rotom Frost, and depending on the Silvally build, even Persian. Honestly, it's really nice to have the Ghost type that can go ahead and absorb those fighting moves
and be that anchor for the team.
Yeah. I've used some Chandelure in my day, and I've used primarily the common substitute set that I think a lot of people know about, the substitute Calm Mind, Flamethrower, Shadow Ball, where there's some special defensive investment and some defensive investment along with special attack. And then basically you get behind that sub on an opportune moment. You get those Calm Minds off. I've swept. Shout out to Amoonguss. I swept a Amoonguss with this exact Chandelure set that I'm talking about.
Yeah, and just another nod to Chandelure. I actually used it in my BSL week draft. I was able to get it in on a Will-O-Wisp from a Ninetales. I was actually running the Choice Spec set. Ninetales set up the Sun. I was able to throw off a Overheat and the Flash Fire, Overheat, Sun boosted specs. Man, that thing ate Charizard up.
Nice. Okay. All right, good to know. So those are definitely some threats up top there, and then last, the rest of the team is kind of a little bit of a toss-up. I could see a lot of things coming, to be frank. I think Silvally offers them some great opportunity. Basically, Silvally and Type Null are opportunities for I was going to say the managers of the team, but yeah, that works too. The trainers and the coaches of the teams, they basically get to look over at their opponents and say, what is their biggest weakness from a type? And then they get to look at their own team. They say, what's my biggest weakness? And they basically get to weigh which one's more beneficial for Silvally. So definitely be looking out for Silvally as a possible bring. And then the last comment for this matchup that I want to make before we jump over to Bishmii is just my G-Max matchup. G-Max Grimmsnarl versus G-Max Flapple. Obviously, I think G-Max Grimmsnarl matches up extremely well against G-Max Flapple, the Dragon type. I have experience with Flapple. I love this Pokemon. It is a garbage Pokemon.
Oh, no. No.
And that might be more my luck with it, but honestly, you basically you have to run the hustle ability. Yeah. You have to. That attack boost for the accuracy drop is just too good. With things like it has access to Sucker Punch. We know it gets some priority. The Grav Apple, the Outrage / Dragon Claw, whichever one you choose to run, along with the opportunity to Dragon Dance if you want it, are very, very prominent. It is a good Pokemon. I've tried to make it work a lot, but here's the thing about Flapple. It is so unbelievably frail. I can toss a Spirit Break on Grimmsnarl. and it's non-Gigantamax. It's not going to take it well. I'm just telling you now. I have tried to make Flapple work so much, and whether it's the quad weakness to ice, which Inteleon with an Ice Beam is going to wreck this thing, whether it be a Dragon attack, a Fairy attack, whatever it is, Flapple does not take them well. I'm pretty sure its base defenses are somewhere around like 60-65. It's very, very low, and it doesn't really do a lot to invest into it because you actually have to put so much into its attack and speed to make the thing
really work.
Yeah. So I think I have a great G-Max matchup. The G-Max move coming off of Flapple, basically, I can't remember. Is this the one that lowers its evase? I think it's it lowers its evasiveness because it pairs well. Yeah, it pairs well with Hustle.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. But it's very, very hard to make that work because even G-Maxed, I guarantee I'll OHKO with a Ice Beam from Inteleon.
Yeah.
I've lost to so many. I've lost Flapples to so many Pokemon. So I have actually a lot of experience with Flapple. So We'll see how this one goes. But I definitely like my G-Max matchup here. All right, so I'm excited for my matchup with the Dutch Star Manitan. Good luck to my upcoming opponent. And let's jump into Bishmee's matchup. I'm going to bring that up on the screen right now, and I'll kick it over to Bishmii for a little rundown.
So yeah, luckily I'm going up against the person who Mac just got a win against. So sorry, EJ, but I'm looking forward to getting a win on you also. And we're also looking forward to having a week where me and Shiny get a win, because lately it's been either I win or he wins. So let's hope in this time we both could win. If you guys are looking at my team, it might look a little different because I actually did make 3 trades. The only 3 trades I get in this league, actually. I traded Scrafty for Beartick, Feral Seed for Blossom, and Togedemaru for Glalie. And I did this because EJ was making a lot of changes to his team, coming in and picking up a new team. Also felt like Scrafty didn't really do much on my team. Him being a dark and fighting type, I actually have 3 dark types on my team already. That only added a 4th, and I had 2 fighting types on my team already. So dropping that and then picking up Beartick, he's actually really good because I want to throw out a lot of my tech because I do go for a lot of tech in my matches, but you gotta watch out for Beartick. Do not sleep, because I have paired this thing with a lot of other mons to match up against this. And
can I just toss in on your ads? I think Togedemaru. I want to call that out. Beartick and Blossom can be great. They're very, very weather-specific Pokemon. In the right weather, they shine and they're amazing. But Togedemaru, in any weather, is an absolutely fantastic Pokemon. Spiky Shield, Zing Zap, Fake Out support, just so much potential. Speedy Pokemon, good overall base stats. That's an absolute phenomenal pickup right there.
Oh, and I didn't even know this thing gets Wish.
Does it get Wish? I guess I didn't know that.
Yeah. Scroll down. Look at my Wish passes.
That is crazy. Good.
And that surprised me. I actually just seeing it. So felt like this was also a great pick because, like you said, just that support role. Other than Weezing, kind of putting the team on his back, being able to have a Wish passer, something to hit for the steel type advantage, having a fairy resist that I want to bring into battles, because as we seen in my last one, that thing kind of just ran away and I didn't have anything to stop it.
Yeah, true.
So just looking at the breakdown, not sure what he wants to bring here. Definitely the Dracovish Snorlax. I'm surprised he did not bring Weavile to your match, because that thing is the fastest mon on his team, and a choice banded Weavile is kind of scary.
Hold up. Wait, hold on. I gotta make a real quick call out here. I gotta look directly at this camera. I need to focus up, and I need to single out and say, shout out to Arts right here because of what Bishmii just said. That Bishmii was surprised that a choice banded Weavile did not show up, because Arts more than anybody knows that Vile Plume lives a choice banded Icicle Crash from Weavile.
Oh,
so
really?
Arts, I love you, man. I love you. You're great. But I have to call that out, bro.
Jesus Christ. Can we run that clip? Fargo family.
It was a private battle. It was a private battle, okay. And we were both shook.
That's crazy. Plume is a monster in its own right with that defense, and like I said, Weavile choice banded. I'm surprised that even lives.
It was it was very surprising.
But yeah, getting into the breakdown, I also see him bringing his Weezing, so we get a little Weezing on Weezing action there.
How does neutralizing gas work on neutralizing gas?
I would love to figure out, does neither, in doubles that would actually kind of weird.
That is that'd be a really tricky question from a double standpoint.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to bring my neutralizing guys to see if he tries to neutralize my team with his. You know, me having not a lot of experience, but getting the experience from mine. I know what that thing could do.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of great opportunity from both of these teams here. I see a good opportunity for Sigalith. I'm not gonna lie, I see a very good opportunity for Sigalith.
And then just to answer his Dracovish, you know, I got that guy shirt on. Easy.
Oh yeah. Oh god, that's my favorite Draco counterfeit. Oh man.
It's gonna force, like, I feel like I always bring this in on Dracovish, and then it forces him to switch out, get damage on something. I do like Sigalith, like you said, the coverage with the sidekick and then flying.
Even Energy Ball.
It's just an Energy Ball for that Doug trio.
Yeah, Energy Ball looks good. It can run. The thing is, Sigalith has a great deep move.
Coverage, yeah. Surprised he picked up Orbeetle. I'm not sure what he wants to do with that.
I don't think that was a pickup. I think that was there from Cat.
Okay.
I can't remember if not, but Orbeetle actually is a I don't know if you want to say premier screen setter, but it is actually quite oftenly used to set screens because it's actually surprisingly very fast.
It has a base 90 speed, and know that thing does get access to sticky webs.
Yep.
So
I've seen a lot of just an FYI, I've seen a lot of non-attacking Orbeetles. I've seen sticky web, reflect light screen, and hypnosis. I've seen some variations with U-turn, and then of course I've seen like somebody run a random attack move like Psychic or Bug Buzz.
I do have a little bit of Orbeetle use in my other draft league. I had him as a G-Max.
That's right.
And after the third week, he kind of down, so sadly dropped him. But it's definitely not a bad Mon. You know, he has like you said, a deep move pool, a lot of coverage, well, not coverage, but a lot of support role on that, like you said, with sticky webs and screens. So
yeah, I forgot that you did. Yeah, that was you. I was thinking about that, whether it was you or Carlos.
Yeah, I had that Orbeetle, and I was using the G-Max move so that I wouldn't miss, because you do have a huge history of missing, as we all. But yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna bring the Clefairy. No, I'm not. I don't think it matches up well against my team.
You know, I can't even offer you any
intel because you hit it, and then it ran away, and it came back, and you hit it again, and it was gone. So it's
Clefairy and Berserker, I got 0 intel on, which is actually to the advantage of Coach EJ. Like, losing sucks, and I know because I'm 1-2, but like, hey, there's no set divulgence in Berserker or Clefairy right now.
I want to say I was watching that battle very closely. I was there. It premiered at what, 10 a.m.? I was 9 a.m. for you. I was there at 8:50. So, yeah, I was ready.
That's awesome.
I didn't catch that much intel. I want to say the team that I have, thought of is doing pretty good. What do you see from his side? Oh, I wanted to touch on the Hitmontop a little bit, but I guess you could get into that.
Actually, why don't you just mention the Hitmontop? Because actually, that's who I was going to talk about.
So yeah, I can see this thing rapid spinning, and like I'm not sure what else it does, honestly.
Oh man, that's great.
I just know it has Intimidate. The special defense is really high, so I'm pretty sure that thing runs Assault Vest a lot of the time.
Yeah, I actually have some experience with Hitmontop. If anybody's caught any of my recent streams, you're going to see me using a Hitmontop, and I have been actually commenting about how I think I could take this thing pretty deep into competitively ranked battle. I've been running a very specially defensive and defense. I think I run max defense with a slight special defensive investment and the rest into No, attack.
Yeah.
And basically what I do is I run a 0 speed investment and a brave nature. So I actually run counter because it's max defense. It has a great special defense. I mean, this thing eats things up that I think people...
It has 110.
It shocks.
Special defense.
It shocks everybody. I've been running fake out, counter, rapid spin, and sucker punch. I've been KOing Dragapults. I've been KOing Chandelures. I have been KOing so many things with this thing. And it's been living things that just it shouldn't be living.
I could imagine that living a Draco. Like,
oh, easily. Not a problem. Hitmontop's a great Pokemon that actually I built it on a whim because I had a spare shiny Tyrogue sitting around.
Yeah. Things for
How's your legendary matchup here with Virizion? What do you think of Virizion?
Virizian's great, man. With the fighting type being able to hit his whole team pretty hard outside of Orbeetle and Clefairy, I believe, or even Zard, because Virizion does get a couple coverage moves outside of the grass and fighting, which is what I'll mainly be pressing. Having that bug type move for Trevenant, or Orbeetle, I believe. And then I get access to Stone Edge, which will cover the Charizard, Orbeetle. I guess the only thing that's stopping it is the wheezing. But other than that, I'm gonna be able to hit his whole team pretty hard.
And Trevenant.
Yeah, for the X Scissor. Yeah, that's what I was planning on doing with this thing. Not sure if I want to run like a choice band on it or a life orb, because I mean, like, it's not a surprise that I'm gonna bring my fastest Mon and the Mon that has the best base stats. So it's pretty much just what I want to do with it at that point.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely against Snorlax, I could see me just coming in and combat.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. Virizion has a better attack stat than Mimikyu, but we saw how a Drain Punch did against a G-Max Snorlax. It took it out for about...
Like what, +1?
What?
What was it at +1 defense already, or no?
It took the first Drain Punch neutrally, so for about... It would have been, I think, a 3-hit KO from Drain Punch, uninvested in any... Or no max Steel Spikes, but it actually fired up a max Steel Spike, got a defense up, and turned the 3-hit KO into probably a 4-hit KO if it was full health, but I also had Toxic damage racking up.
Right. But yeah, I plan on trying to get a little bit of toxic action myself.
How's your...
Or even just G-Max matchup you were going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say, how's your G-Max matchup?
Oh, I think I'm kind of on the low side of that because Snorlax gets that, what is it, Thick Fat?
Yep.
And it resists the fire move. So yeah, like even if I'm able to lock it in with my, it's not that beneficial to me. And then I'm pretty sure this thing gets a rock move, which will kind of slaughter Scorch. And then
yeah,
aside of that, like Scorch in this matchup, I don't really like it. I do have like the Thunder Fang for Charizard and the Power Whip for Dugtrio and the Fire type for Orbeetle, Berserker, Trevenant, and Weavile. So I guess I have a good coverage, but outside of that, a lot of my other Mons have really good coverage moves. So I feel like Scorch isn't that good, and I'm still like looking for a place for it to what. I'm still looking for a place this week. I feel like you have to bring your Gigantamax though, even if you don't like the matchup. I'm just gonna shout out Louis Fad because he actually didn't bring his G-Max this week or last week, and he picked up a win this week without it. But I feel like it's still great to have it because you get to throw off those 130 base power attacks, and you're forcing your opponent to bring in something to take that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't always think bringing the G-Max is essential. I didn't bring mine in week 1 and nearly picked up a win. It was extremely close with lots of misplays and no G-Max, which you can only imagine what me having G-Max potential would have done to that match.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I'll still bring my Center Scorch though, just for the coverage and the setup potential.
Yeah.
And then I'm not really liking way the rest of my team matches up outside of, the Gastrodon, Weezing, and Virizion, and Sigalith. Like so the last two might just be throw-ins.
I think I think you have a way to really wall up on this team and bring just a couple of attackers. I'm looking at your team, and you've got things like Gastrodon, defensive Como, Mandibuzz. You've got that Togedemaru even, and then Weezing, and you can kind of mix and match with them with a little bit of plug and play between Virizion, Sigalith, and of course your G-Max Centiskorch. So I think you've got a lot of opportunities to kind of wall this team.
And that's a little bit of the throwback of what the power ranking said about my team in week 0. With my picks, I have a lot of good walls, like you said, with Gastrodon, Como, Mandibuzz, and Weezing, and just picking up Togedemaru. So I like my team being a little bit harder to outlast, be key.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It would be very, very hard, especially because you got to call out that there's the Recover on Gastrodon, the Roost on Mandibuzz, and Weezing, of course, with the passive Black Sledge recovery as well.
And this thing gets a plane split.
Oh my god, I didn't know anything had a plane split.
Yeah.
Well, EJ, good luck. I like a lot of the changes too. Shout out to EJ. I said it in my video, you guys. I think the drop for the G-Max is his number one move. I think dropping G-Max Snorlax dropping G-Max Toxtricity for G-Max Snorlax, fantastic move. A little questionable on the Milotic though.
Oh yeah, I feel like Milotic was big because I want to say I built a team for Cat, and I'm like, all right, I like this. The hour later, Cat has dropped from the league. Well, now what do I do? And I had to rebuild for this, and I made a couple changes to help the rebuild, but then to also take a step back from my week 3 matchup and really think about what I was doing with my team with the big fairy weakness.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. So there's our outlook for week 3, our review of our week 2 power rankings, and of course the analysis on our videos. We hope you enjoyed this very, very much. This is going to be going up on my channel, Shiny Shuriken's channel, for week 3. You guys can catch week 4's analysis over on Bishmee's channel. Make sure you guys check his channel out. Show him some love. Drop a sub. If you're following me, if you're following my videos over here from the SRL, make sure you check out Bishmee's channel as well. He is also in the SRL, dropping some great battles. His team's actually doing better than mine, FYI. So those links will be down in my description, so go check them out. We're also going to be linking up the rest of the SRL League coming up, so make sure you guys keep checking out these videos. I know these are a little bit on the longer side, but they're a lot of fun for us, and they're super great ways for you guys to learn. And there was something that Bishmii wanted me to shout out. What was it?
Was it that?
Oh yeah, it was that we don't win and lose on the same weeks. Hopefully we can pick up 2 wins. I think you said it as well earlier. So hopefully Bishmii and I can both pick up 2 wins. And this following week, week 4, we'll catch you on Bishmee's channel while we're talking about both of our wins as I move to 2-2 and he moves to 3-1. So that's the hopes, that's the dreams, right? We've got some good matchups coming up against the St. Louis Swablues, and I can't remember my team that I'm going up against. Dutch Darmanitans. Yeah. Thank you very much, Bishmii. All right, you guys, I will check you guys later. Make sure if you are not subbed to this channel, make sure you guys hit that subscription button for more Shiny Shuriken content. Make sure you drop a like on the video if you enjoyed. There's lots of ways to learn competitive battling from my channel and from all of my content creator friends. Make sure you guys jump into that creator haven. We have tons of opportunity for you guys to learn how to play competitive battling, and draft leagues is one of the easiest way to learn how to predict and play against specific Pokemon. Anything you want to add at the end, Bishmii?
Just one thing, that there is a Max Charizard running loose on the league right now. It has 13 kills and 2 deaths. It picked up a 6-0 in its last match, and I just want to say there's a bounty. So if someone could please take that, please, I would highly appreciate it. Yeah, other than that, go check out my channel for some SRL videos.
Absolutely. Yes, that Charizard has been running loose. I am personally, I don't know when I match up against it, but I'm excited to take it on because I've got plenty of ways to handle that G-Max Charizard. All right, you guys, I will catch you guys later. Make sure you come back and check out Week 4's videos for the SRL draft battles, and then, of course, make sure you keep an eye out for Bishmii's channel for Week 4 analysis, and we will catch you guys next time. Later.